All right. Well, welcome in, everybody. It is time for another Wayside Furniture and Blind & Sons Studio C live session. And this is fantastic because here we are, a little after-work evening get-together, and we have packed the room to capacity for another 330 Hometown Hero favorite. Welcome, Ben Gage. Let's give him a hand. Yes.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thank you, Ben, and welcome to Studio C. It's pretty exciting that people love to come out and hear the interviews and the stories behind the music and the live performances. These are the perks of being a member of this local public radio station, are the Studio C sessions. But boy, it just seems like it can be a big name national artist like the band X or a band like Blind Pilot, or it might be a hometown hero, and you, sir, are a hometown hero. So I hear you've been having a busy and great summertime, too.
Yeah, it's been a fantastic summer. Sorry if I'm out of breath. Right before I came up here, I raced Simon in the hallway.
That's my son, my 8-year-old.
It was a bad idea. I'm already sweating.
Woo!
Thanks, Simon.
That's great. He's just back here playing his Roblox game, Minecraft game.
No, but it's been a good summer. It's
yeah,
it's been a blast. I travel a lot, so I knocked out a couple places that I hadn't been, but I like to spend summers in Ohio.
But you grew up here, like you're from Akron area, right?
No, I'm from Ashtabula County, so not
okay.
far.
Not far. You're a Buckeye State homeboy.
Yeah, I think that's sports, right, Matt?
I think so.
I think that's. See, I know that as the dessert. I'm more of a dessert fan. But yeah, I grew up in Ashtabula County, and then I came to Akron for school.
Okay, gotcha.
So I graduated from University of Akron. Go
Very
Zips.
nice. Go Zips.
Yeah.
Go Zips. Yes. Well,
actually, one of my professors is in the crowd. I saw her walk in.
No, really?
Yeah.
Amazing. Well, let's start with a song, and we'll kind of talk between each song and get to know more about the man, the myth, the legend. But which song should we do first?
I think I like to start a lot of shows with this song. It's Low Down Dirty.
All right. This is Ben Gage, and we are live in Studio C on the Summit FM.
Thanks, Brad. Who was that?
Sorry. That was my glucose alarm. No, for real.
Hey, that's a pretty good excuse if anyone leaves their phone on. We're learning something. You got that low down. You got that low down. You got that low down dirty. Thinks it's as good as it gets. Wake up in the morning, head splitting, it's full of regret. You got that low down dirty. Brother, that's old news. You ain't the only one round here that's been singing the blues. You got that low down dirty. You thought that he was the one. Just a number in his book, smooth talking son of a gun. You got that low down dirty. Sister, them's old shoes. You ain't the only one round here that's been singing the blues. sunshine, summertime, gone without a care. You got that low down dirty, and it ain't going nowhere. You got that low down dirty. You thought that you was alone. Lost count of the years I've been calling these. Oh, you got that low down dirty. We don't always get to choose. You ain't the only one round here that's been singing. The only one round here that's been singing. Ain't the only one round here that's been singing the blues. Thank you.
Amazing, amazing. Yes, Ben Gage here in Studio C. And it's just, it never ends, the amount of talent just here in our backyard, our 330 hometown heroes. We are so pleased to put some of these artists on the air and on display for Studio C. But Ben Gage has been out and about touring quite a lot this year and the last couple years, really. Tell us about Alaska. You just are back. You just got back from Alaska, right?
Yeah, I was in Alaska for the 4th of July. I was out there playing a festival, and it was I only got 2 states. Well, now I only have 1 state left. It was my 49th state, and I think it was the 49th state.
Oh, I think you're right.
That was coincidence. I did not plan that out.
Yeah.
That was coincidence. But
So
it was beautiful.
Which other state, by the way? Is it Hawaii or is it?
It's Hawaii, yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay. So you've done the whole continental U.S.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah, I knocked it all out.
What was doing a festival in Alaska like? And what was the weather like? It's actually nice in the summer, I think.
Oh, it was beautiful. But it was, man, it really messed with you. Has anybody been to Alaska, like in the summer?
Yeah.
Oh, so cool. You guys are cool. That's.
Yeah.
I was talking to, I think like the average states that an American has gone to is like 12. So if you've gone with more than 12, good on you. That's cool. But it was wild because this time it was in the Anchorage area.
It's my glucose alarm, really.
Are you going to be okay? Are you going to be all right?
No, actually, it just says signal loss. So I'm fine.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know why I lost signal, though. That's really weird.
I can take a look at it if you want.
Yeah. Mr.
Tommy
Tech
said I
over
was a
here.
tech guy, right?
And even if you have your phone on silent, it still beeps. And how embarrassing.
We want you to be okay, Brad.
That's right.
We want you to be okay. But no, right now in Alaska, it's waning. But when I was there, it was like 21 hours of sunlight.
Yeah.
And so I was only there for a week, but it was like being there for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
I was able to do so much stuff and.
Right. I've heard people that live there have to like put blackout curtains in their bedrooms or like face the bedrooms away from a certain angle because of that. But on the flip side of that, in the winter, that's got to be tough. Like 3 hours of daylight.
Yeah, I was talking to some locals, and it was mixed feelings. Like some of them said that they prefer the sunshine, and some of them prefer the dark.
Yeah.
And I don't know how you'd prefer the dark. Right after they said that, then they sunk their teeth into my neck and sucked my leg. But they say that it's kind of like it's a creative time, so
right.
they kind of like holding up. Having been to all the states, I mean, it is so one of a kind. I was telling my friends down here, it's basically just mountains and swamps when it's not covered in snow.
Wow.
So it's
it's
amazing how when they lose snow, how limited it is to get to different places.
So it really felt like a different country or somewhere new that you hadn't been before.
Yeah, it was pretty wild. It did feel a little bit like Maine or the UP, if you ever gone to any of those places.
Yeah.
It feels kind of...
Have you done Canada too?
Yeah.
I figured you might.
Yeah. So earlier in the year, I did I was gone for like 50 days, and I did like 11,000 miles on the van. I drive everywhere when I can.
Yeah.
I flew to Alaska.
Okay, I was going to ask if you flew up there. Or...
I'll be there next year, next
Yeah.
July, and I'm going to drive. I got an extra seat if anybody wants to.
What an adventure, though. So how did that did that come about? Like the festival reached out and like wanted to book you, and like you were like, yeah, I'll make the trip.
No, it was. I said I was going to do the interview like this. No.
That's right. He told me he was going to do one-word answers. Great.
Yeah. No, it was a friend that I had met in Chicago who lives up there. And I had, Tommy was talking about it. My background is in like business. I graduated business, and I went to corporate for like 10 years, and I just hated it. And, but I used to be in the tech industry, and I had this flight credit because we used to fly to California all the time, and I had this like $800 flight credit that I kept pushing out because you could just they like added 2 years to it, and then I could like keep saying, hey, I'm not going anywhere, and pushing it out. But I had to use it. It was expiring in like February, and so I was like, never been to Alaska. All right. And a friend that I met in Chicago, I let him know I was coming up there, and he just asked if I wanted to play this festival. He's friends with them, and he made it happen. It was awesome.
You do a lot of like house shows and like that kind of traveling too, right? Like, tell us a little bit about that world and how that works.
Sure, that's kind of like my sweet spot. Okay. So I would consider myself a songwriter first, and so going to places like the house shows. Has anybody gone to a house show before? We have some hands come up. Oh, not a ton of hands though.
Yeah,
it's a really cool. It's a pretty unique thing. It's sort of like this. There's not a hunky interviewer in the back, but besides that. It's a smaller group, so normally you're looking at like 30 to 60 people, and it's not like a college house show, you know, that if you went where it's just like people are peeing in the basement and the washing machine's full of beers. It's not like that. It's a little bit classier. It's kind of like it's more like a songwriting circuit, and there's these private spaces all over the U.S. that they'll get in different touring musicians, and they're in charge. Whoever runs it is in charge of the curation, and the audience just shows up normally it happens like once a month, once every other month, and a lot of times they go in not knowing who it's going to be, and it's a really intimate show, kind of like this, but there's a lot more interaction, like you guys, and you can do that tonight too, ask questions or whatever.
Right.
But that's my favorite part.
But it is kind of neat. The house show idea is, I kind of like the discovery aspect of that. How like many people don't necessarily know the artist that's coming in, but it really like one-on-one, one at a time expands your base as a performer.
To me, it just seems like the most honest way to kind of connect with people.
Yeah.
For me, music is it's just so fun because, well, you guys know, by being music lovers, it just makes you feel things that nothing else really makes you feel like that.
Yep.
And to be in a small space where there's no distractions and you really just get to be in those moments together, that's the good stuff. It's pretty cool.
Well, our guest is Ben Gage. It's Studio C live. How about another one? What do you want to play? This is Troubadour Ben with his guitar and harmonica. And what do you want to play next? A new one? An old one? What do you think?
Well, I got asked to play a song called Company. So I'm gonna do that.
All right, let's do it. Ben Gage. Let's hear it for 330 Music here in Studio C. Yes.
So I'm the oldest of 7 kids, and that's kind of where this song comes from. It was a song I wrote at the time when I couldn't be by them. We're real close, our family, and it was just a song to let them know that everything would be okay. Spring is softly singing don't hear a thing. Your head, it's underwater, and you chose right now to drink. I'll sit here with you, brother. I'll sit here if you need. We don't have a lot to do, and I could use the company. Dreams are softly fading. Took the train to the next town. It's hard to keep your chin up when them dreams aren't around. I'll sit here with your sister. I'll sit here if you need. We don't have a lot to do, and I could use the company. And sorrow may be dragging muddy feet across the floor. But times like these, you and me find what we're living for. And until he gets to leaving, come and pull up a seat. You need to remember that you haven't lost our love. The children may have left the nest, but it's home they still think of. I'll sit here with your father. I'll sit here if you need. We don't have a lot to do, and I could use the company. Dusty boots ain't working. Now, see what I've done? See, this is the one of those human moments. I did this on purpose. I did not do it on purpose. Them callous hands ain't working. Dusty boots are now clean. Don't be sad that you shut the shop or you close that cash machine. I'll sit here with your father. I'll sit here if you need. We don't have a lot to do, and I could use the company. And sorrow may be dragging muddy feet across the floor. But times like these, you and me find what we're living for. And until he gets to leaving, come and pull up a seat. Don't forget the sunshine, don't shy from the rain. Right now may be storming, but them birds will sing again. I'll sit here with your friend, I'll sit here if you need. We don't have a lot to do, and I could use the company. Said we don't have a lot to do, and I could use the company. Said we don't have a lot to do, and I could use the company.
Most excellent. It's Ben Gage here in another Wayside Furniture and Blind & Sons Studio C live session on the Summit FM. Company is the first track on the Two Singing Songs most recent album, most recent CD that as a full length anyway. So tell us a little bit about that LP and the new material, because you have two new singles since then too.
Yeah, right. You've done your homework.
That's
Good job.
right.
I'm also realizing how squeaky this bench is.
Yeah.
It's all I can hear, and now it's going to be all that you can hear. That's right. So Two Singing Songs it's an album that I released in fall of last year.
Yep.
And mainly it was a project that I did with Dan Soha.
Mm-hmm.
So if you guys are hip to him, if you're not, you should be. He's amazing. He sings a lot with Bethany Joy up in Cleveland.
Who also has appeared at 330 Day in the past.
Yep.
Yeah.
So Dan's my best friend, and we went into the studio with Tuck Mindrum, and the whole point behind that album was to do as much as we could, just the two of us. And so that whole album is just us, him and I, doing all the parts for all the songs. Mm-hmm. And that's kind of where the Two Singing Songs, it's a line in one of the tunes, but that's where it came from. It was the two of us kind of doing all the songs.
And then since then, you have these two more recent singles, one of which is with Chrissy Strong, another favorite in the 330 area here.
Yeah. We did a song together. It's called Sweet Memory, and that's streaming everywhere. And it was great. It's a blast working with Chrissy. She is an incredible vocalist, incredible human. So we did that song, Sweet Memory, and then just a couple weeks ago, I released another one, the second single called Love Comes and Goes, which is a tune I wrote for my little nephew. So
nice.
Nice. Because I'm the best uncle in the whole world.
That's right, absolutely. Well, and so are you working towards a new EP or album, or are you kind of doing the singles for right now? What's better for a new artist these days?
I don't know, man.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, part of me wants to say, who cares? Just do whatever, but you just can't. You can't think that way. Those two were singles, and they were just singles. I'm in the studio now working on a full length, and that'll come out early next year.
Cool.
And they say the way to do it is you record the whole thing, and then you release singles. In Nashville now, they're releasing 12 singles and then releasing the album.
The album.
I think
it's
I hate that.
That's how they did it in the early days of rock and roll in the 50s. It was like singles driven, and it wasn't until you get to the 60s and really like the Beatles and the Beach Boys' Pet Sounds and so forth that an album as a full work of art became such a thing, But what about attention spans? What do you think of attention spans these days?
I'm bored already. I'm ready to go. I mean, that's true. It's crazy. It's just getting less and less. It's pretty soon we're going to just start seeing like 30-second songs or something
For
wild.
sure. Well, even, not to get off topic, but even pop songs, like top 40 pop songs, are getting shorter for that reason, and they're being driven by algorithms on TikTok and digital spaces and things like that. That helps propel them to the top of the charts now. Like, I don't know. What's that, as an artist, as a real songwriter, Ben, how do you feel about that, playing to the algorithm?
Well, all my songs, I actually use ChatGPT, so I'm not really...
Oh,
good. No, I just think it's different. I think we can all live in, there's enough seats in the theater, but I think it's just different. As a songwriter, the thing that I like to do is write and then meet people where they're at so I can kind of like collect more stories. I feel like the more places I go and the more people I meet, I can write more songs. And that's one path. And I don't think it's the path to fame and fortune necessarily. But I like a lot of those TikToks, and it's beautiful people, and I'm more of the songwriter.
I think it's fine. Some people are like more music consumers and like go for the easy to find, the low-hanging fruit or whatever. But I think, and especially in the world of the Summit, hopefully our listeners and members and those who want to be a part of this care more about art and music in the world around us. And you're a great part of that community, completing the circle, writing the songs, and really, I think gathering the emotion. It all comes down to emotion, right?
Sure. Yeah, and it's a fun thing. I think that there's, like I said, there's room for all of it, but it's kind of like books,
Yep.
It's like I don't think that sort of story songs and folk songs and blues songs, I don't think they'll ever go away because they're just sort of timeless, kind of like how books are.
Or like indie film and indie cinema versus the major Hollywood blockbusters. It's kind of fun to have both.
That's true.
So, well, how about another one? Let's hear. I heard this one was a #1 on TikTok in Japan. So,
Yeah.
which one do you have next for us here?
Yeah, no, I'll do a song called "Tie Me Down," and this is another one off that album, and this is probably the song that's kind of performed the best, I would say, on that. Real fast, Matt, are you getting my good side? Oh, what a sweet talker over here. Can we just hear it for Matt? Always doing all this camera stuff. He's amazing. The unsung hero over here. Just earned myself $20. No, but this is the song that kind of it's done the best on this album, and I think because of it, I got my first royalty check at the beginning of the year, and it was for like $600.
Dang.
Pretty cool, right? And then right the week after that, I had to get all new tires for the van. It sucked because I was down in Missouri, and I got a flat tire, and I was like, what the heck? And it turns out the tires that were on the van when I bought it were not the right ones, so we could have just patched it up, but I was like, preventative maintenance, just get all new tires. And I had $20 left over for my royalty check, so that was so lame. That's like, you dream of getting royalty checks, and you're like, I'm gonna do something crazy. Tires, great. But if you need tires, go to Leopold. They're a good tire. Right? They're nice guys. They're great guys. You can trust them. This is a song called "Tie Me Down."
Tie me to that old ball and chain. I've gone and flown too high again. Won't you tie me down? Oh, won't you tie me down? No one's as good as you to take my feet back to muddy ground. Won't you tie me down? Come on, take my heart again. Getting too close to letting you in. Won't you tie me down? Oh, won't you tie me down? No one's as good as you to take what's one and you rip it in two. Won't you tie me down? Won't you tie me down? Come on, take my light away. It's been shining for too many days. Won't you tie me down? Oh, won't you tie me down? No one's as good as you to take my flame like it's overdue. Won't you tie me down? No one's as good as you to take my feet back to muddy ground. Won't you tie me down? Won't you tie me down? Won't you tie me down? Won't you tie me down?
That's Ben Gage, a 330 edition of our Wayside Furniture and Blind & Sons Studio C. Yeah, that's Tie Me Down, which is also on the Two Singing Songs album. And so let's take everyone behind the curtain a little bit of the music business, right? And Ben and I kind of bonded because one thing you hear myself and Chad Miller talk about is we go to these radio industry conferences, Philadelphia, the non-com each year. Well, Ben actually, and these conferences are for radio station people and they're like artist managers and it's kind of a big schmooze fest and a bunch of bands play. Well, Ben has played at the Folk Alliance conference and been a part of it as an attendee as well, and kind of tell us what that Folk Alliance is about and how that's really been pretty impactful to your career.
Yeah, it's been huge. Has anybody heard of that, Folk Alliance?
Folk Alliance, it's called. It's in Kansas. Well, it moves, but it's based in Kansas City, right?
Yeah, so I've actually never been to the big one, and so
Okay.
there's an international one, and that's the big one. Someone suggested that I start at the regional ones, and so those are a lot smaller. They're like 1,000 or less kind of people that go there, and so they're extremely impactful because you get to leave and you know everybody.
You make contacts and make friendships even.
Big time. So you're there for about 3 days, and there's different ones depending on the region of the U.S. And so I've done Farm, which that's like the Midwest one. NERFA, which is in New England, and then SURFA, which is down in Southeast. And basically it's just a bunch, it's about half musicians, half songwriters, and then the other half is industry people, like you were talking about. So people that run those house concerts I was mentioning, radio DJs, everything, recording engineers, booking agents. And so you go there and you can apply to do these official showcases. I was fortunate enough to, and they're kind of hard to get, so it's awesome. I was able to do an official showcase at both Farm and SURFA, and a DJ showcase, which is even harder to get. It's when like a radio DJ will select you as someone that they think is someone to watch, and then they present you to all the other DJs. And so I got to do those 3 showcases, and because of those, it just made it so now I can just travel around the U.S. Like 7 months a year, and it's awesome.
You've made contacts in like a lot of these places, right?
Yeah. They've seen me there, and then it's word of mouth after that. And then I've also met so many other songwriters, and it's just inspiring. I love Northeast Ohio, but it's kind of a Midwest thing. It's really easy to kind of get into our routines, and it's hard to kind of get out of them. And so to start rubbing elbows with people that are doing a similar thing to me, it's amazing. It makes you feel like you kind of belong to a whole new community. It's special.
The way it's all kind of interconnected, because the ones that Chad and I go to are mostly more for they're centered on the radio people, or what they call the music supervisors for TV, like those who are like picking songs for movie trailers or TV commercials or films or whatever. Do you get into that world too, by the way? Licensing?
No, I haven't ever. So
well,
if
I know a couple people I'll connect you with then. How about that?
If you're making a movie, I'll let you have one song for free.
No, but it is interesting that there is a business behind this. Like, I think that's one of the things people do forget about music and singer-songwriters sometimes, is like you also kind of play the connections like in any industry, and then who knows where it might lead. But it's pretty exciting to see the upward trajectory you've been on for the last couple of years.
I'm super lucky. It's just awesome. And actually, I'm not really supposed to announce it till the 14th, but just don't tell anybody. But there's a folk alliance equivalent in Ireland, and I just got accepted to do one in January.
Wow! Amazing! Congratulations.
Thanks. So nice knowing you guys.
Have you done overseas touring or anything before?
Technically, so that tech job that I had,
Yeah.
we used to travel
Yeah.
to it was a thing called Cisco Live, and it was in Barcelona.
Oh.
And so I piggybacked off of that, and I made some connections there, and I have played in Barcelona a few times, but
Yeah.
that was with all my expenses being covered by a tech company.
Gotcha. Well, that's what they're best for, though. Really, like
Yeah.
they got all
love
this VC
supporting
money.
Indie folk artists.
Yeah.
They're like that's really their thing. You know?
That's the sweet spot right there. That's amazing, though. So you're going to Ireland. Have you ever been to Ireland before?
No, I haven't.
Amazing.
Yeah, it's gonna be cool.
That is going to be. See, I think what you got to do is like a digital logbook for our website, like Ben's Adventures in Ireland. Yeah. You can vlog for us.
Yeah, sort of. I do a thing of. I know some of you guys follow me on that. I do a thing when I go to other places. I've recently gotten into photography, and so anyone that follows like on my newsletter or Patreon and stuff, they get access to these photo albums that are just free. They can use them high res. You can use it whatever you want. And so I log a lot of hours just taking pictures of the places that I go. And then I also do like videos in different places with like 360 video, and I've done a couple where I'm like in the mountains or stuff like that. It's all on my website and stuff. It's pretty cool.
So what does giving back to our society with song and with art and pictures and sharing your story, what does that achieve for you and for everyone?
Oh, I just think it brings us kind of closer together, I think. I don't know if it achieves much more than just community. You know, if there's people liking what I do, then I'll keep doing it. And if I'm making stuff that they like, I think my favorite thing is when I'm in a place and someone that I've met or a friend back home is like, hey, I just went there and here's what I saw, or I'm planning on going there. What should I see? And I feel like I've crossed paths with a lot of people that are right on that fence of doing something sort of adventurous.
Yeah.
And then either something I'm doing or something that like the community that follows me around is doing. It's just enough to kind of nudge them to do that adventurous thing, and they never regret it. It's always like, you know, that's kind of the point.
It's kind of what life is all about, right? To not get stuck in the routine, but to try something a little different and outside your comfort.
Yeah. I think
See
so.
where it goes. It might be terrifying.
Yeah. I mean, it was like, this September will be 3 years. So like 3 years ago, I decided to just quit my very comfortable tech job and become a musician, which was a dumb thing to do. But I love it.
Fulfilling.
Yeah.
So maybe that's more important, right? So.
Really, the main reason that I come to shows and like this is just to see how many people I can get to quit their job.
Yes.
Yeah. That's pretty much it.
Well, how about one more song? Our friend Ben Gage is here, and another live troubadour moment here. Which song do you want to play next for us?
I think I'll close out with a song called Tomorrow. It's a song written with the help of tequila. And it's a shame. I had Googled, I knew I was doing this, that Brad was going to interview me, so I had Googled some interview questions myself to ask you. And so some of them were, I'd like to ask you one.
Oh, okay.
All right?
Okay.
It was one that I saw that I liked is, what's your favorite big cat?
Big cat, the cheetah, fastest land animal.
That's a good one.
That was good.
It's the only big cat that doesn't have retractable claws. Do you know that?
Oh, I did not know.
That's a fun fact.
I only learned it was the fastest land animal because of the movie Airplane back in the day. So
I don't know what that is.
it's a classic comedy film.
I'm kidding. I know what it is.
You're okay. I was gonna say you're coming over after this.
Well, if there's dinner, then no, I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
And the other one was, where do you see yourself in 4 to 5 years at this company? It came up. It was very high on the Google search.
That's right. I think 4 to 5 years, supreme ruler of arts and broadcast on every station in Northeast Ohio.
I love it.
Give me the radio dial.
Well, I don't know, guys. we might want to be starting a petition early. You know what? I don't like how that guitar sounds. Just a moment.
Okay.
I was being nice and I put on new strings for you guys. Which was a mistake. Good enough for folk music. I'm drinking my weight, staying up all night. Maybe I'm wrong, it sure feel right. Ain't thinking about tomorrow, ain't thinking about tomorrow. I'm getting in fights, ain't pulling my blows. Gonna hang me everywhere I go. Ain't thinking about tomorrow, ain't thinking about tomorrow. I'm gonna wake up in the morning with a splitting head. Go back to bed until tomorrow. My money on every round, keep my buddies from feeling down. Ain't thinking about tomorrow, ain't thinking about tomorrow. And telling my woman I'll be home soon, but my woman's been gone since June. Ain't thinking about tomorrow, ain't thinking about tomorrow. I'm gonna wake up in the morning with a splitting head, go back to bed until tomorrow. I look around this place tonight. People use a beautiful sight. Ain't thinking about tomorrow, ain't thinking about tomorrow. Come on now, raise that glass till the world can kiss my. For the kids. Thinking about tomorrow, ain't thinking about tomorrow. I'm gonna wake up in the morning with a splitting head, go back to bed until tomorrow. I'm gonna wake up in the morning with a splitting head and go back to bed until tomorrow. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Oh, and the crowd goes wild. Ben Gage here for a Studio C session supporting 330 Music here on the Summit FM. I don't know. I'm kind of feeling this moment. Should we do an extra? Should we do a bonus track? I think he needs to do one more song for us. Let's do it. We're putting you on the spot, Ben. I hope that's okay. I know your union contract said a maximum, but we're going right past it.
No, I would play forever. But so the thing is, the last thing I want to be is that musician that's always like playing more songs. Do you know? I'm sure you've seen the type where it's like, notice me, notice me. I just have I don't want to be that person because I don't get to do this job without people like you. So the last person that I want to bother or annoy is you guys. So do you want to hear another song?
So yeah, here's what we should do. If you don't want an extra song,
just leave. Get out of here.
And if you want an extra song, let's give him a hand. Yes. Studio C with Ben Gage. What are you going to do as your bonus encore? Everyone pretend he left for 5 minutes and we cheered and he came right back.
Well, I can do original or I can do a cover. What do you want?
Do a cover. I'm curious what's on the Ben Gage playlist.
All right, I'll do a cover.
Okay. Let's see if we can figure it out.
I think you're going to be able to figure this one out.
Okay.
This is one of those songs where I said for the longest time that I wouldn't do it. It's doing Freebird? Yeah.
Freebird!
Your wishes are coming true. It's a medley of Wagon Wheel Freebird, Sweet Caroline, and Brown Eyed Girl.
Nice! Yes!
But no, it's one of those tunes where I would get asked to play it a lot, and I would just politely kind of get out of it. And then I was hanging out with Dan, and we kind of made it into a blues song, and now I like it, so I'm going to play it. I hear that train a-comin', rolling round the bend. I ain't seen sunshine since I don't know when, and I'm stuck in Folsom Prison, and time keeps on dragging on. That train keeps on moving now, down to San Antone. Well, when I was just a poor boy, my mama told me, son, she said, always be a good boy and don't you ever play with guns. Well, I shot a man in Reno just to watch him die. And I hear that whistle blowing now. Hang my head and I cry, cry, cry. Bet there's rich folks eating, they're in that fancy dining car, probably drinking coffee, and they're smoking big cigars. And when I know I had it coming, I know I can't be free. People keep on moving now, and that's what tortures me. They freed me from that prison cell, that railroad train was mine. Guess I moved farther, a little farther down the line.
Wherever Father falls to prison, that's where I want to stay. And I let that lonesome whistle now blow my blues away.
Thank you so much.
Oh, now that is nice. A real nice arrangement on that fine Johnny Cash song. Ben Gage, ladies and gentlemen. Another Wayside Furniture and Blind & Sons Studio C live performance. Also, shout out to Andrew James on the sound and audio, and Mr. Matt Anthony on camera up front here, and yes, I mean, it takes a lot of people to make these Studio Cs happen. And our 5th grade bound David Savage running camera in the middle there, too. Well, thank you for being here. And let's hear it again for Ben Gage.